Some people have me time, we have bee time. Hello and welcome to Nonsense Farm. I am Kathy and this is Celeste. And today we are gonna requeen some hives, or I guess give some queens to some hives. These are our queens. We have 4 queens, picked them up yesterday at the Bee Supply in Blue Ridge. And we have 2 colonies that we know are without queens, and then we'll evaluate the rest of them, see if anybody else needs a queen. And if not, then we will make splits for the other 2 queens. So here we go. We're gonna start with this 5-frame nuke that I divided off of a big colony down the way. When we checked them on Wednesday, they did not have any evidence of a queen. We gave them some eggs. I'm just gonna look in here right quick and see if anything has changed. So let's look. Give them a little bit of smoke. Hello, ladies. Oh, come on, there we go. So, nothing on here. This is freshly drawn comb with a little bit of honey on the top. And there we've got some pollen getting stored in there and some wax. You can tell they're getting nectar from somewhere, which is great. All right, so this was the frame of brood that we gave them last week. Okay, there's some very, okay, that was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so that was 3 days ago. So, I still think, yeah, it was eggs when we put it in here on Wednesday. God, that's awfully young. I'd hate to waste a queen if they've actually got one. I really, really don't think so though. But let's keep looking, because we only gave them 1 frame of babies, so if there's any activity with babies on another frame, we know it wasn't because we gave it to them. Yeah, I really think that is just because we gave them babies. So here's what we're gonna do. We grab me a queen. Pick a queen, any queen. All right. So there are a few kinds of queen cages, but these are the ones I see most often. Here's a queen. There's a few attendant bees in there. This is Candy. Originally there was a cork in there. We took that out. The bees in the colony will eat through the candy this way, and these bees will eat through the candy that way. So it'll take a few days for them to get to each other. In that period of time, the new colony will become accustomed to her pheromone, the queen's pheromone, and they will accept her as their queen. So here we go. So, but what I do is I put it in this way. You don't want to put the screen toward the frame, because, you know, they need to be able to get air and they need to be able to get food and things like that. So we are going to squish it between 2 frames this way, and we're going to put it on a frame that has brood like this one. And we're just going to mash it in there. And we're going to get another one just like this. Go a little further down. Whoop. Oh, wow. You see how they're super interested in her?
Yeah.
So they're bringing in nectar. They have good population. And now they have a new queen. So on Wednesday or else next weekend, we will look at her again, and hopefully she'll be in there laying up a storm. That's the goal. All right, so there's one of them. Now over to Casablanca to place the next one. These girls can tend to get a little bit testy.
Yeah.
So we'll just make sure our zippers are closed. And go to town. And sadly, we should go ahead and just investigate and make sure they haven't started making a queen. And since they're double deep, it'll take us a minute. Nothing there. In fact, one little trick I learned on that trip last year with commercial beekeepers, if you split the boxes, it'll loosen all these and it'll make the frames easier to get out. Oh. I don't always remember to do that, but I'm always glad when I do remember to do that. Look at all that fresh wax. Wow, that's so pretty. It's amazing how they do that. And you can tell they're all over this. They're starting to build that out too. And you know they're getting nectar from somewhere if they're building out wax already. Okay, there's some brood, but again, we gave them babies last week. So there's no reason to think this is anything but that. And again, very young, but again, we gave them eggs last week, so. And I was saying last week, it was 3 days ago. Not seeing any evidence of babies. I can just tell by how heavy this is that it's mostly nectar, you know. It's okay, I'm pretty convinced. So, where were the babies? Was it here? Nope, it was the next one. Yeah. All right, so we'll put it in between these two. Gosh, these guys are so ill-mannered. Let's see. Oh, you have one, good. Another technique for dealing with bees that are just too mean is requeening them, because over a short amount of time, especially in the summer, like right now, all these bees are the babies of the queen that was here, and obviously they are not of good humor. But in a very short amount of time, within, I don't know, a couple weeks, all the bees in here will be the babies of that queen, and she will be nicer. Whoops, sorry guys. That queen cage is taking up a little bit of extra space, so it's a little harder than usual. All right, lady, you go in there and calm them down. All right, we had a white flag out in front of this one also to keep an eye on it. That felt pretty heavy for a single deep. Let's see what they've got going on. Was this the one that, like, they had some queen cells and stuff? Was this that one?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Oh, look, they've almost completely eaten that sugar brick. Remember how it was a lot more 3 days ago? Stan soft sugar bricks, big fan. So there you've got some nectar and some honey. Nothing to speak of over there. So one thing that you can do is if they're putting stuff and they're paying attention to one side and not the other, you can flip it over to where the neglected side is closer to the center. And sometimes that can prompt them to pay more attention to it. You especially do stuff like that when they start filling up a honey super. Look at all that nectar.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, looky there. That's a queen. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we know she has a queen. Let's put her in here and go see what she's been doing. Kind of a little queen, but no smaller than the ones that we just picked up. Okay. Yeah.
She's been laying?
Yep. Yep. All right. So, okay, I feel great about this. I may take away their white flag today. That's another whole frame of babies. And another whole frame of babies. I'd say she's doing fine.
Looks like it.
There's some more babies. And more babies. All right, I seem to remember that one of these two had like a ton of food. I might like them to have more food, but they are bringing in nectar, so maybe not. Maybe they'll, yeah, I mean, look at that whole frame of nectar. I think they'll be fine. And look, there's more nectar there. Yeah, I think they're all right. Okay. So they are fine. There's that good old banana smell. All right, and I'm going to take away their shim this time, because as the nectar really starts going, they'll build comb up into that shim and you'll have a mess. When the nectar flow really starts flowing, they will build comb in any space they have access to, because they just go crazy. All right, well done. I'm going to take away the white flag. I don't know how well this shows up on the camera, but can you see how cattywampus this hive stand is? Do you see how the bricks are kind of going out that way? So what we're going to do is we are going to lift this onto those bricks. Then we're going to fix these bricks, and then we're going to put it back. All right, so we're just going to pick it up. So first we'll just concentrate on standing up.
Okay.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
See, that's not that bad. Now we'll come over. And put it down. Excellent.
Sweet.
All right, now we will fix up this situation. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. This one seems fine. This one is a mess. Let's see. No wonder. Go like this. Should use the level on my phone. Or 0, depending on if you try it again. Okay, here we're 4 degrees off. Yeah, so we need to lift up that side. If you choose to use cinder blocks for your stands, which I don't know if I would if I were doing it over again. Maybe I would, I don't know. But if you do, you want the holes to go this way instead of this way, because if you go this way, it creates a perfect place for ants to build an ant hill up through the hole, so that's why. All right, shall we move this again?
Right.
Yep. Here we go. How more perfect could that be? So here you've got a deep on the bottom and really a honey super at the top. And I think that happened last year because the queen got up into the honey super and she started laying brood. In fact, right now there's still brood there. They're really full and they need some space. So what we're gonna do is we just went and got a deep with 10 frames that we coated with wax, and we're going to take off this honey super, put on the new deep box. We're going to shake all the bees out of the honey super down into the deep boxes. We're going to put a queen excluder, then we will put this honey super back on. What I am hoping will happen is that all the brood that's currently in this honey super will hatch out, and so then they'll backfill the honey super with honey when the nectar flow starts. But I suspect the queen is still up here in the honey super because there's such young brood up there. So we're gonna shake everybody down. So here we go. Let's smoke them again since we've been inside waxing frames for a while. Do you see this behavior right here where they're kind of holding hands?
Yeah, a little chain.
That's called festooning. I don't know if we really know why they do that.
Yeah, I was about to ask. I was
Yeah.
like, is there a reason?
A lot of people, I've read people think it's has to do with building wax, but that they wouldn't be doing that there. All right, so let's go like this. Put this here. We're gonna get the new deep. All right, so we're putting another deep right here. Excellent. Now, I'm gonna get that table so we can set it there, shake it down, put it, you know, it'll be nice to have a table.
Okay.
All right, now, queen excluder.
Oh, yeah.
Now put the box up there. Oh, I have the box. The ones with brood, put them kind of all in the middle together.
Oh, okay.
And the ones that are just drawn comb, put them on the outside. Yeah.
Check this one.
This one. This is brood. So look at there.
Oh, wow.
So now we'll make sure the queen excluder and the boxes are all lined up so the queen can't get past it, which is likely what happened to start with. Okay, now inner cover. And outer cover. Okay, so I feel like I should put a white flag in front of that one because who knows what happened to the queen and all that messing around, so we better keep an eye on her. So I'm gonna get a white flag. There we go. All right, we're still out here. We've been waxing frames and introducing queens and making splits. It's been great. So we're going through this hive. This one also has a honey super that we're using as a brood box and another brood box. And I'm just having Celeste just go through this one on her own. So what are you seeing?
Well, this one's just honey, and it's really heavy.
Yeah. When the nectar flow starts and it's honey season, you see how far that is out from there? That's what you like to see, because when you go to harvest the honey, it's real easy to cut the cap off. More beautiful honey.
Wow, yeah.
See how pretty that is on that yellow foundation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's honey on the edges, and then there's the egg cells in the middle. You can see some of little babies and some of the cells towards the center. I don't see the queen here.
Yeah.
Same deal on this side.
Looks
I
good.
don't see her. Okay. More eggs.
Same thing there. Isn't that fascinating there on the edge, how you see the cells go up, but you can kind of see the inside. Celeste has been looking in the bottom box here, and she's not finding anything. Even honey, anything?
I've seen honey and I see a lot of nectar. But
Yeah.
I haven't seen any babies, any
Okay.
Eggs.
So I say I'm going to lift up this box, and then you put that box as the bottom box, and then we'll put this as the top box, because they'll perceive this as more space to lay. All right. And also, once you get that put down, lay both of these on top of those frames.
Okay.
Hello. Okay, it's 5:30. I think we have been in bees for 4 hours.
Yeah, since 1.
Yeah, that is a lot of bee time. Some people have me time, we have bee time. So a week ago, I had 15 hives. Now there's 19. This is bee math. You've heard of girl math and chicken math. Well, now we have bee math, and we've messed with a lot of hives. We made splits, we've just done a whole bunch of stuff, so we're gonna have to keep our eyes on these boxes over the next couple of weeks and make sure that everybody gets tucked in, because the nectar flow is going to be upon us. So thank you for joining us. If you are not subscribed, I hope that you'll hit the subscribe button, and also, the little bell, so you get a notification whenever we're out here doing stuff like this. And we thank you for your support. Bye.